Max Fletcher is responsible for some of the most beloved cartoon characters in history: Popeye the Sailor Man, Betty Boop, Superman. But Fletcher's first cartoon in 1919, Out of the Inkwell, may well have had the biggest impact of all. Not only did it introduce the character of Coco the Clown, it introduced an invention that would change animation forever: the rotoscope. Hello and welcome to 100 Years of Cinema. We'll be taking a look at one film a year from 1915 to track the evolution of film over the last century. Coco the Clown debuted in 1919 with a monthly cartoon series called Out of the Inkwell. Each cartoon typically starts with Max Fletcher playing himself, drawing Coco on an easel, and through the magic of animation, Coco comes to life. The cartoon amazed audiences with its smooth and lifelike animation. Coco starred in over 100 Out of the Inkwell cartoons throughout the 20s, and he would later reappear in Talkartoons alongside Betty Boop. Coco the Clown's perhaps not one of the most well-known cartoon characters, so how did this clown come to change the course of animation? Well, to answer that, we need to look at the cartoons that came before. The earliest example of projected animation that we know of is Humorous Phases of Funny Faces from 1906. Lines were drawn on a chalkboard, photographed, redrawn, and then rephotographed until they gave the illusion of motion. Animation kept this basic technique, slowly becoming more advanced, more fluid, and also adding new elements like colour. But no matter how advanced it was, animation drawn from hand always struggled to capture convincing movements and emotion. In 1914, Fletcher saw the cartoon that made him want to become an animator, Winsor McCay's Gertie the Dinosaur. He was fascinated with the process of animation, but he had an idea of how it could be done better. And in 1917, Fletcher patented the Rotoscope, a device which would allow animators to sketch cartoons from live action footage. He filmed his brother moving around in a clown costume, and then projected that film, frame by frame, on a sheet of frosted glass. Over the next year he traced around 2,500 drawings, and the result was Coco the Clown, the first rotoscoped cartoon. This new technique had some major advantages over animation drawn freehand. Because it was traced from a real person, for the first time animators were able to capture incredibly lifelike motion. Fletcher would use this to capture the dance routines of performers of the time like Cab Calloway and Louis Armstrong with amazing accuracy. He would go on to use the technique on Betty Boop and Superman, as well as in the first rotoscoped feature-length film, Gulliver's Travels. Disney would use the technique to capture motion for their films, like Alice in Wonderland and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Rotoscoping allowed animators to capture lifelike expressions in faces, meaning characters could show convincing emotion for the first time. The vivid expressions made possible by the rotoscope helped move animation from a medium that was used to tell simple jokes to one that could tell a story with characters that could express complex emotions. Cartoons could suddenly have depth and drama. Rotoscoping would later be used to add effects to live action sequences, like the lightsabers from Star Wars, transitioning from the real world to a drawing in the video for a-ha's Take Me On, or pulling someone into a digital world in Tron. Although it's now being done on computers, rotoscoping remains one of the most popular tools in animation. It's still being used for feature-length films like A Scanner Darkly and Sin City. Rotoscoping has produced some of the most iconic images in animation, and it all started almost 100 years ago with Coco the Clown. Thanks for watching. Let me know your favourite rotoscoped scene in the comments below, and subscribe so we can travel through the history of film together.